Hello and welcome to my channel. My name is Rachel. If this is your first time here, welcome. And if it's not your first time here, thanks for coming back. So today, I'm so excited. I'm so thrilled to say that I just received the new Blend Bunny Cosmetics Forget Me Not collection in PR. It literally just came to my mailbox about an hour ago. So I wanted to sit down, film a look, give you some close-up swatches, any information that I do have, I will let you know, and I will also put it in the description box. I will also link everything else that I have on my face down there. And if you're as excited as I am about another Blend Bunny launch, give this a thumbs up and consider subscribing. If you've been here before, you know how much I love Blend Bunny Cosmetics. I go on and on about them. You're probably sick of me talking about how much I love them, but you've come to a Blend Bunny video, so you're kind of asking for it. I think their matte formula is one of my favorite matte formulas in my collection. They do an unbelievable job, and they also make other products besides eyeshadow palettes, but I will say that the eyeshadow palettes are my favorite products from the brand, but I also do enjoy a lot of their other products as well. So Blend Bunny decided to do something different with this launch, which I love when brands try to mix it up, because typically she does do an eyeshadow palette that has a gradient within the columns, and mostly mattes with usually one shimmer, one or two shimmers depending on the palette. I feel like there's only so many times you can do something like that before it's time to mix it up, right? So she did. She decided to. So this is the Forget Me Not Versatile Eye and Face palette. It looks like this. I absolutely love the packaging with the pink marble. The actual size of the palette is quite large. So I have with me here the Dollhouse palette, which is like one of her largest palettes that she has. And then here is the Forget Me Not palette. So it is actually bigger. Like if I put Forget Me Not behind it, you can see it peeking out at the top here. So it is quite a large palette, the largest like size-wise that we've seen from the brand. But of course it's very sleek and slim and all of that. Now the difference with this is it opens like a book, which is different for the brand. And then on the inside, we have a mirror that has kind of an interesting shape to it. It says Forget Me Not on the bottom. And here we have the palette. So let me kind of give you what they've said about this palette, exactly what it's for, because obviously, as you can see, the pan sizes are larger and they're not the usual pan size, and it's not meant to be solely an eyeshadow palette. So let me hold up the Dollhouse so you can see a comparison of the pan sizes there. So this is from Blend Bunny's Instagram. It says, Forget Me Not is a 16 large pan, versatile eye and face palette I created to be used on the go as a travel companion, and also works well for bridal/client glam. So all the shade names are interchangeable for travel and wedding honeymoon. I chose large pans so they could be used any way you see fit without the constraints of small pans. The colors chosen were created to be mixable and versatile for use on brows, eyes, as contour, bronzer, highlight, smoky liner, a pop of shimmer, etc. So she's basically saying that she created larger pans so that you can use them not just on your eyes, right? You can really dip a brush, like a face brush, into these pans. They are plenty large. She also came out with a brush set with 4 more like eye brushes and a face brush. The brushes do come in this sleeve, which I think was really nice, and it's definitely something you can reuse, put your brushes in for traveling. These brushes look really, really pretty, and they have a white to pink ombre. So there is a large fluffy contour face brush, a medium fluffy blending brush, an angled brush for filling in brows and wing liner, a firm packer brush for picking up and packing on shimmer or highlight, and a unique angled dense brush that's great for nose contour and snatching other small areas in the contours of the eye and bridge of the nose. That one that she's talking about, that last one, this one is very interesting. I don't know that I own a brush quite like this. It's an angled brush, but it's very dense. And also on the Instagram post, it says that these shimmers down here are less sparkly than the Noctilucent highlighter palette, which if you have that palette from Blend Bunny, those highlighters are like duochrome, multichrome highlighters that are very sparkly. Listen, I love me a sparkly highlighter, but I also love a non-sparkly highlighter. I don't discriminate over here. So I'm very excited to have these more traditional highlights And I get where she's going with the bridal theme, putting these in. I think that is really smart. And honestly, I like Blend Bunny shimmer formula, but I find sometimes it does crease on me pretty badly. And sometimes with some of the palettes, I find that the glitter particles are a little messy. So I'm hoping to like these a little bit better. So the palette does retail for $44. The brush set retails for $34. Everything is going to be launching on August 18th at 10 a.m. PST. I don't personally have a code with Blend Bunny, but a lot of creators do, so I'm sure you can find a code out there to get some money off if you're interested. And I want to hear from you guys, like, what do you think about this palette? I definitely think it's different, it's interesting. I feel like it may be polarizing, especially if you are a color lover. Obviously, there's no color in this palette, but I'm a neutral lover, so I was definitely anxious to see it in person, and I definitely want to use it on the face to see how I feel like it will work out for me personally, because I'm not a makeup artist and I'm not really that talented when it comes to mixing stuff. So I'm definitely interested to play with this. We're gonna play with it right now. Let's start off with the shade Remember right here. I'm gonna use a fluffy brush from Singe Beauty, and I'm just gonna place this in my crease. I have already primed my eyes with the Urban Decay Primer Potion, by the way. So that was a really pretty cool toned transition shade, worked beautifully, no complaints. I'm next gonna go in with the new Blend Bunny. It doesn't have the name on it, but it's the like fluffy blending brush. It's a little denser than the Singe one I just used. I wanna use the shade Together right here, which is just slightly deeper, still cool toned. And I'm gonna place this a little bit lower in the crease. Yeah, I mean, those are pretty effortless to use. I don't really expect anything less, if I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm gonna go in with this funky, the angled dense brush. Very interesting shape. And I'm gonna go into the shade Unforgettable, this like deep, can you see it? This like deep chocolate brown. And I'm gonna place this just in my outer V. Ooh, that's a pretty color. Oh yeah, look at that. Yep. Very pigmented. Gorgeous, darling. Gorgeous. I'm gonna go in with the NYX Glitter Primer all over the lid. I'm excited to test out these metallics. On the eyes, I feel like these three are gonna look pretty darn similar. The three that I just swatched are Cheers, Butterflies, and Memories. So why don't I do Magical on the lid, this more like gold one, and then I might layer one of the lighter ones in my inner corner. So I'm gonna go in with Magical on my finger. Oh, that looks so pretty. Oh, that is beautiful. That's stunning. That is really, really pretty. I think that is absolutely pretty. It is a standard metallic, meaning there's not like super sparkly glitter particles, but still absolutely gorgeous. Definitely very bridal, or not. Listen, I got married 3 months ago. I kind of wish that this had been released 3 months ago, but that is absolutely beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. I'm gonna take the one Memories right here, and I'm just gonna place it in my inner corner. I am gonna use that flat brush that came with the collection, and I'm gonna spray it. And I'm basically just going to repeat the same mattes that I used on the upper lid onto my lower lash line, going from darkest to lightest. Yeah, I mean, those mattes are just beautiful. They just blend out into a gorgeous gradient. Let's move on. Here are my thoughts. Just my initial thoughts. Of course, this is not a review, by the way. I have to continue using this many times over to get my final thoughts. This is more just obviously a first impression, just a way for you to maybe see this in action before deciding if you're interested in purchasing it. For my preference for a bronzer, I prefer something that is neutral. I don't really contour. I don't like cool toned contours on me. I feel like they make my face look muddy and dirty. It's just maybe my skin tone, my preference. I prefer a neutral bronzer. I also don't like the opposite, like something super warm and orangey. So looking at this palette for a neutral brown that's gonna make sense for my skin tone as a bronzer, I'm a little lost. Like, I'm not 100% sure what's gonna work for me. When I swatched this out, many of these browns were cool toned. Many of them definitely showed up cool toned on the swatches. So I know in her Instagram post, she said that she recommends mixing a warm and a cool together to neutralize it. I'm scared. But it's like science, right? We're just mixing things together to see how it works. So I know for a fact, like this one, Anticipation, is pretty warm, and it looks like for my skin tone, it would work as a bronzer. By the way, I'm not a makeup artist. I wanted to say that. Like, I'm not a makeup artist. I have no freaking clue what I'm doing. I'm just somebody who loves makeup, right? And I don't do makeup on other people. I'm horrible at it. So I'm interested to hear any of you out there that are makeup artists, like, what do you think about this? I'm gonna mix Anticipation, I'm scared, on their new angled face brush here. Just tap it off a little bit. And I'm gonna go into All I Need up here, which is definitely cool toned. Let's give it a shot. Okay, so as you can see, I just don't like that look on me. It looks gray. And I even went in with Anticipation, the warmer one, more. And I just don't like the look of a cool toned contour on me. But okay, let me kind of wipe the brush off. I want to go just in with Anticipation on its own without the other one layered. Let's just try this and see what it looks like. That's much better. It's still like not my favorite, but definitely better. So I don't know if you can see. So here's the side just with Anticipation. Here's the side with those two mixed. So you can definitely tell it's a lot more cool toned. And this side, it actually looks pretty, but I'll be honest with you, like I probably wouldn't reach for that shade over bronzers in my collection. Like, it's not something I'm like, wow, I love it. And like I said, looking at the other shades in this palette, I just don't see using anything else as a bronzer. Like, there's nothing else warm here that would work for my skin tone. So yeah, that's kind of my thought on that. I'm just going to put on some Blend Bunny Bare Cheeks blush for my blush. I did wear this on my wedding day, personally. I freaking love this palette. And I actually, for my wedding day, I mixed Baby Girl and Making Me Blush, these two up here. And I really loved the results. So that's what I'm gonna do right now. All right, so I actually put on some setting spray because I forgot to say earlier, I set my entire face with powder. I never do that, but I wanted to give the powder bronzer contour situation the best canvas to glide on, you know what I mean? So I don't ever really set the perimeter of my face, but I was feeling a little dry, so I added some setting spray. Now we're gonna go in with the shade Butterflies as my highlight. I'm super excited to give this a shot. It's like a pink champagne. Let's try that. Oh, that is pretty. That's really pretty. Now my highlighting brush that I'm using is very fluffy, so it gives a little bit more of a subtle look, which is very pretty, very, very pretty. On this side, I'm actually gonna use my finger because I do like doing that with some highlights. I'm gonna use the shade Cheers, which is a little bit more of like a yellow champagne. So let's try that. Really pretty. And obviously when you use a finger, you're gonna get more impact if that's what you're looking for. Yeah, see, that gave more of a shine. Super pretty. And I would say this is not like a lit from within, even still, even though it's not like as sparkly as the Noctilucent, it's still pretty darn metallic. It's still pretty darn out there, but absolutely beautiful. And I absolutely love it on my eyes. All right, so I'm gonna go off camera. I'm gonna finish up the rest of my look and I will come back and show it to you and then kind of give you my thoughts wrapping up this video. We'll chat. Ooh, I feel like a gorgeous glamazon. Look how beautiful this eye look turned out. I'm so happy with it. I'm a neutrals gal. When it comes down to it, I love neutrals, and I'm so excited to have another neutral palette from Blend Bunny. I mean, I'm never gonna complain about getting neutral palette from them. The mattes in this performed just like the usual mattes that Blend Bunny has. Incredibly easy to use, blendable. It's easy to create a gradient, easy to mix and match. And the shimmer that I used on my lid, I think this is my favorite shimmer that I've seen from Blend Bunny. Like this shimmer formula, if they all look like this on the lid, which I'm assuming they do, it could be my favorite shimmer formula from Blend Bunny, because I love how that looks. Where it's shiny and impactful, but it's not sparkly or chunky, and it looks opaque. I think it looks absolutely stunning. Now, I will say, I have to keep playing with this for the like face product aspect of it. Using these colors as like bronzer contour situation, I need to experiment a little more with it because I really didn't do the greatest job today. Like I said, I'm not a makeup artist, so it is gonna take me a little time probably to get the right combination of colors right for what I like in a preference for a bronzer. But I'm definitely excited to continue playing with this. I love that you have a matte white and a matte black. I love having a whole bunch of neutral mattes from Blend Bunny. I absolutely will reach into this as a companion palette for those neutral mattes that I may be missing in another palette. So I will keep you posted. I will put this in a palette ranking video in the future after I've had a chance to really test it out, really use it, really get some experience with it. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed this video. Let me know your thoughts down in the comments. Are you planning on picking this up? Have you been eyeing it? What are your thoughts on it? I would love to know. And thank you so much to Blend Bunny for sending this to me in PR. If Blend Bunny did not send this to me, I absolutely would have bought it because I'm a huge fan of the brand. I buy every single release that they come out with, especially like palettes. So yeah, all right. Well, thank you so much for watching. If you did enjoy this video, please give it a thumbs up. That helps me out a lot when you do that. And if you're not already subscribed to my channel, I would love it if you would consider subscribing before you leave. I do upload videos weekly and I'd love to see you back on my channel. I want to thank you so much for watching and I will see you next time. Bye.